No, I
No
don't
one
talk
those
about.
things on me.
Yeah, right. Hey Zach, pass those figs, man.
I got you.
Ah, a little bit far. No. So last we left off, you had visited Barovia Village and made sure that things were all right with both Father Donovich and Doru, his son, with the
Mm-hmm.
performance of a minor miracle
Pretty
by
much.
Urfir. You then set back out on the road, heading out of town, after Ralmir noticed some unusual tracks when trying to find Granny and purchase another pie for his good friend Narlug. Um, it seemed as though the tracks must have left town, heading along the same road you came in on, but you never passed anybody on the road. Those cart tracks, though, were fresh and underneath your boot prints, which was perhaps difficult to explain. You also headed back to the Tsar Pool in order to speak with Madame Eva again, and gained a little bit more information about where your fated conflict with Lord Strahd might occur. Also, poor Ervir had a bit of a moment of, wait, what? When it
Look, I
comes
wrote a
to.
whole fucking thesis in Discord,
You
man.
did. When it comes
On his
to how
life.
skulls
I'll
work in
take I'll
Barovia.
take my pittance of an inspiration now, please.
You absolutely
Go
will
ahead.
start with an
Pick it.
inspiration. Yes, stealing my
Hey,
next word.
I
So
thought I needed this session. I'll
for
take it.
your
Nom, 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 nom.
theological diatribe, yes, please take a point of inspiration. Um, but yes, you learned of a particular spire, tall, and in your vision, uh, standing out with a solid thumping heartbeat that Madame Eva referred to as the heart of the castle, which perhaps you got the feeling may be somewhat literal in some way, though the vision was unclear as to exactly how that might work. It has been mentioned, and she reminded you of this as well, that many people say that Strahd's heart lies outside of his body, that he ripped it from his own chest when he lost the last bits of his humanity up in the heights of the Balanok Mountains and came back changed into what you see today. You also acquired a neat little Artificer's Tinkering project. I believe Ralmir currently has it. You
Yes.
have a teapot that can boil water with nothing more than the press of a button and waiting a couple rounds. Holds a half gallon. I'm sure you can find a clever use for that.
Got an electric kettle.
Yep. Electric kettle that's cordless, even.
Oh my god, guys, we're about to invent cup ramen.
Just saying, there's an acquisitions
Barovia's
Inc.
gonna be
idea
changed
for
forever.
you. But yes, upon finishing with Madame Eva, you all set back out along the road. And I am going to yada yada a little bit, unless you all wish to dwell upon any of that information further. Again, I assume that Ervir is kind of just like explaining out loud, largely to himself, what you had written in Discord. Like, spending a bit of time there, just like, but wait, no, this
He's explaining
particular
it to
theologian.
people,
Right.
but no one in particular.
You're
As
just kind
if
of like
everyone is
talking
listening.
at
Narlug's
the group.
interested in jotting down notes.
It's like the teacher at the front of the lecture, but no one's actually listening in the hall.
So
There you
life
go.
didn't come from orcs raiding villages?
I don't think it would really like make his faith waver, but it would more so like
No, I didn't
there's
so
a
much
missing
take it as
puzzle
like,
piece.
yes,
Like I can know a lot, but there's something I clearly don't know and no one has mentioned. So like what is that?
I kind of took it more as, yes, like this is a theological concept that you sunk your teeth into rather than like rattling your faith. It just made you go, wait, there's a piece of this puzzle that I haven't thought about, and now you're like pulling from everything you've read, trying to make that fit. Is kind of how I got it.
Pretty much. When you know definitively about the afterlife and all that, like it's very easy to be like, well, that is what like you. My faith cannot waver. It's proven true.
Right, exactly. It's this weird
fact.
thing where like religion in D&D almost overlaps with science in a way
Ye-
because you can empirically observe the effects of religious affectation,
Yeah.
which is really weird. Um, but yes, so I assume with you
Also,
kind
don't
of
forget we
yada
found
yada.
out Strahd was
Oh,
Strahd is scrying on us.
yes, that is a
At
fair
what
point.
frequency?
Good to
We
bring
don't
that up.
know. Where? Also don't know. But we know he can.
But yes, Arvir did detect a sensor for the scrying spell. That was back in
Yeah, I'm
Barovia
good right now.
Village. But yes, you all pick your way further along the path leading north back towards Valaki. And the switchbacks of the woods down here are quiet and relatively still. It's that eerie, unsettling stillness that you experienced when you first came to these lands. As you passed through towards the village, were observed from above by Strahd visibly on your way, standing up in the clouds in the thunderstorm, seeming to make himself known and then back away. Although this time you don't see him. You still get a sort of looming sense of dread on the back of your neck as though you were being watched. It's an unnerving sensation that's kind of hard to shake. But certainly seeing him witnessing, at least for Ervir, and then being told about the scrying, uh, you get the feeling that these lands between the two large sets of gates are truly his in a way that is not true elsewhere in Barovia. He certainly controls the mists, and many believe that he sees and hears everything. But here is more unsettling than elsewhere. You pass along the top of the Sayre Falls, looking down at the encampment below, where the actual Vistana are. But again, nothing directly bothers you, other than as you get close to where you first encountered that large and rather extravagant black carriage. You do see, set along the side of the road, there is a freshly constructed, perhaps is a better word, gallows standing along the roadside, similar to where the actual carriage had been placed. And hanging upon it, though you never got her name, a woman that you once saw in Barovia Village. One of the three Vistana women that were in the Blood on the Vine tavern, seemingly pale, gaunt, and particularly, well, hollow looking, hangs from a noose, just swaying softly in the breeze, left perhaps as a warning, as a signpost, but you don't know if it's for you or just for the populace.
It's an odd
You
hunting
could be
technique.
next.
Are we
Why
like?
Vistana? Aren't they like not so much allies as like symbiotic?
You do seem to have gotten that feeling that they enjoy some sort of special status here. Not only can they come and go, but it seems like nobody really fucks with them. So it probably would strike you as unusual. Though of course, the corpse cannot answer why, unless you look closer, I suppose.
I'm curious about this though, so I wanna, if we could get a closer look though, I wanna see if
One
I can.
second, Ralmir. Eyes of the Grave?
Okay. Which the range is considerable, right? It's like 60 feet or something.
Let me double check on that for you.
I
They
don't
go
Why?
think it's a
speak.
mile, but it's not like within 10 feet or
No.
whatever.
Pretty sure Narla can just speak to this motherfucker if we want.
Oh, do you have Speak with Dead?
Yeah.
Interesting.
60 feet is eyes.
Okay, how close would you like to get before you cast that? Or activate that
I
ability? I know it's not a spell.
uh let's see, does it actually say it doesn't. Okay, so it's only for a brief, it's only for a one
Yes,
action,
it's
one turn.
momentary. Yes.
So with it 60 feet.
Okay. So just close enough to it.
I would make an approximation, be like, because the whole purpose is like, before you investigate, let me make sure that's not going to grab you.
Okay. As you let that out, you didn't link it, but I believe it gives you an idea of number and
Oh.
distance and potentially potency. No locations of
Just
any
that they're
undead.
there.
Okay. As you let it go, you sense far off into the woods to your right the faintest flicker of something moving away, but the corpse itself does appear to just be a corpse.
But it's the woods to the right, so that would be towards Ravenloft Castle.
Yes, towards Ravenloft Castle.
I'd bet money on a recent feeding. By
Aren't
all
you willing to
means,
wager on that bet?
not much. Don't have a lot.
5 gold?
That is a fair point. But yes, the corpse does appear to be actually inanimate.
Or at least not undead.
Yes.
And a reveal gesture for Romeo to continue.
And
Um,
what are you gonna look for, Ralmir? Because I have an idea.
And give
what
him
I'm looking
guidance
for.
while he does it.
I'm
Guidance.
going to just do like an investigate, just to like check to see if there's any other markings to see if there's like any rips of like clothing that got put on. If she got like attacked though or anything like that, see if we can find anything like just on her
Okay.
closely.
Yeah, and then I specifically was thinking of like bindings on the wrists and the feet. Like, was she kept for a long time? Was she just grabbed, bitten, and thrown on this thing? Did she
Hell yeah.
even die from the hanging in the first place? And I'm gonna help Routmere with his investigation.
Okay.
What?
So that gives you advantage from the help action. So go ahead and roll me investigation.
With before
With
I do
advantage.
that,
And
before
guidance.
yeah,
Yes,
what's
before you
the
do that.
I don't see the guidance check box.
Mm,
I have mine as a global skill modifier below my skills. But I think you had to add it in.
I think that might be the case. It's also so common that I wouldn't
You can just
be
do
shocked.
/roll 1d4 after the fact and add it.
Oh, there it is. So it's a toggle under your. It's the same as bless. So you can just use that toggle underneath your
Okay.
saves. You see that there?
Yeah.
I don't think Bless will add to your skill checks automatically, though, if you just hit
If
investigation.
you look underneath,
Oh, because
like
bless
your,
would be attacked.
if you look underneath, like your,
Yeah,
It's
there's a
attacks
couple
and
blocking
abilities.
for it.
your thieves tools and shit is where it should be. If it's not there, Frank, if you want the one.
Oh, it is there.
Okay.
Good
Oh,
call.
I see
He's
it now.
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Cool.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, now I'm gonna do the roll.
Okay.
There's still something in there.
Ooh,
That went right.
beautiful. And you know what? Both of you asked very, very important and pertinent questions. Ralmir, you asked about signs of damage to the clothing, any, obvious, markings that might have been left. You, because of that high roll, immediately recognize this as you see it. The sleeves of the coat that she wears have been torn, like somebody took them and pulled them down, and the top section has been ripped away. You recognize that is an old method of dishonoring a member of a military that has been removed from service. She wasn't military, but with that high investigation roll, you click that Strahd was a renowned general. There may be some, shall we say, traditions that he still honors. So it is a thing that was done to strip the insignias. That's where they were sewn, both along the top of the sleeve and top of the shoulder. You would grab them and tear them away. So you recognize this is a sign of some sort of dishonorable activity in terms of like how the leadership saw this being done. And Ayako Bachi, you recognize as well, looking at the hands and feet. Seems like she was bound not for very long. A quick trip from, well, whatever it was that got her in trouble to this spot. There was no prolonged, what's the word I want? Detainment. She was grabbed and probably brought very quickly to here. So, Ralmer, you see strong signs that whoever did this to her probably viewed her as a traitor of some sort.
Ooh, conspiracy.
I'll say, well, their hunt was a haste and did not last long, and this prey was not bound or captured. It looks like they were in quite a hurry, or at least had no concern for time.
And as you keep poking around Ralmer, since you're up close, you do notice there are fang marks. And though I don't think you're like a medical expert or anything, it's pretty obvious to see this person was drained of blood, and your best guess is that they were drained and then hung here as a display rather than being killed by the actual noose.
So the hanging was just a display.
Yes, it's more of like a threat to anybody who sees it, if that makes any sense.
Look at what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen any Vistana travel this road? I don't believe so.
You have not?
Well, one thing too, since we're in Barovia though, wasn't there a guard in Barovia though that wasn't particularly fond of the Vistani?
I don't think anyone likes the Vistani in Valaki.
Yeah.
In both
Like,
Valaki
yeah.
and Barovia Village, they're kind of not trusted
They're gypsies, you know?
because, yes,
They're on the take.
Yeah.
but also, yeah, their association, or at least rather than association, their
I wouldn't leave
special
one in my house by itself.
privileges are well known.
And then, like, how would you feel if you lived in a place you couldn't escape, and the only people who could trade with you were these assholes who jack up the price all the time? You'd probably hold some
Mhm.
resentment towards them too. Be like, fuck these guys.
Fair enough.
Fuck them and their mothers.
Right. Narlug, you want to do some magic to this here body? I thought you were saying.
Yeah, about to say I can speak to the dead and who's willing to place bets on everything they investigated.
I'm pretty confident in Frank and Ralmer.
If you can't
Five
trust a
gold?
29, what can you trust?
Right?
Well, we get to ask three
DC
questions.
was
What do we want
30.
to ask?
Yeah, DC was 30.
I guess a classic one is who killed you.
Yeah, that was the first thing that popped in my head.
How does Irvir feel about Speak with the Dead?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I think you, regardless of how you decide you feel about it, probably would recognize it as it's being cast.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
just
like
magic.
this is one that definitely gets taught.
I almost feel
Um,
like with the knowledge that souls are trapped here, that no one's actually being recalled from the afterlife, I feel like there's a lot of all bets
Yes.
are off kind of thing with him right now.
I was going to say, read the spell. It's very clear about what it does.
Right.
First of all, it says multiple times, the corpse knows only what it knew in life, and it does clarify at the bottom, this spell does not return the creature's soul to the body, only the spirit that animated it. Thus, the corpse cannot learn new information, doesn't comprehend anything that has happened since it died, and cannot speculate about future events. It is literally just, basically, you are magically defibrillating the corpse for just a couple minutes, and the neurons spark just enough that it can answer questions. It is not truly alive again.
We're sticking
There's
prongs on the brain trying to recover the hard
like
drive.
a don't desecrate corpses kind of thing, but like it's not really
I mean, this is pretty damn desecrated.
Typically, it would be
You can make a fair
it's
point,
not
Dave.
about Strahd.
Don't
That
desecrate the
already
corpse that's
happened.
hung up on this noose and cut out.
Right.
I do understand where Irvir is coming from.
I think
though.
it would
No, me
normally
too,
be
me
a let
too.
the dead rest.
Me too.
Uh-huh.
Me too. That's funny.
But yeah, in this instance, well,
It's like, don't burn my pancake that's already smashed in the ground. Fucking
and
dick.
not to mention, it's like, oh, he should also want to get the corpse down, but I think he knows better.
Right, we should get in trouble.
That this is not the hill to die on today.
Right.
I mean, it's helping it find peace in death.
No, there's no spirit or no soul.
I would guess like where'd you die? Did you see anyone kill you? I don't know. Where are you from?
Why did
what's
they
your
kill
name?
you?
Yeah, why
Is
did
your
I like
favorite color?
There you go. Blue. No, green. Yeah. Okay. Who killed you? What's your why did they kill you? And then what's your name? Maybe that would be good. That's
Yeah,
the three
that
that I
is
think
good.
are pretty good.
Do
Anyone else got any good
what?
ideas?
I'll ask the question then. What do you expect to get out of each of those questions? What is the answer you're looking for,
So what I'm
and how
looking
does that
for,
help you?
what I'm thinking is, what's your name? Is so that we can have that information. So if we meet Vistani later, and they're like, "Oh no, Dorothy, where is she?" Like Dorothy got. Okay, we talked to her. We know Dorothy.
Okay.
We met her. I was thinking,
Yeah.
who killed you? Because yeah, it could be Strahd, but maybe Strahd's got like some goonies who like do his dirty
Right, maybe
work.
it was the old lady, dude. Maybe she didn't pay for her pie.
Right,
She
and
had like
maybe
a
we
pie
could learn a
job.
little bit about some people who were hiding out in the grass over there and running to the right. Maybe they'll give us away some information. And then the other
She
one
can't
was,
speculate though.
but
But
she
you
might
can tell us who killed her.
She can tell us like what they look like. You know what I mean? Tall, short, color of their
Yeah, that's-
eyes.
Who
Something.
killed you and what they look like are two different questions.
No, but who killed you? A tall man. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to
Or
be
you
the
get
guy's
a
name,
name.
but her name she'll know. And then I was thinking that would work with the Vistanis. Who killed you, just so we can know who did it. And what was my other one? Well, where?
Where?
I suggested
And where?
why.
And why? I like
Why?
why.
Hmm.
I don't know.
What did
You know what I mean? They just got my ass.
The why seems like the most pertinent question to me, since it seems like a very specific display.
I like why, and I like the name because I think we can use that information later. But
I mean,
I like
if
the
it was,
why.
If it was like Swift though, instead of asking for like why though, it could be like what were you doing when you got caught?
What if she was sleeping?
All right, I think Narlug's got his questions loaded.
Alright, yeah, that's good.
All right.
Alright, I've
So
given my input.
Narlug,
Dog's
You
gonna
reach
cast
into
Speak with the
your-
Dead.
I guess
Yeah,
actually
I'll
you
be
have a
10 feet
spell
away, I
focus,
don't even have
don't
to
you?
touch it. Huh?
Right? You have a focus, right? You don't use a component
Yeah.
count. So I think as you brandish your focus, it mimics the incense that is normally required, and smoke begins to waft off the end of it, smelling, strongly of sandalwood or something to that effect. And there's a brief chill that surrounds this area as you cast this spell. And there is a special thing that happens that I have been searching for since you said that this occurs. Hang on. And I cannot find it in the mod. So let me see if I can fucking locate it on Google.
I'm gonna have to look at like an any flip of the actual book of the mod. It's probably like a little side
Right,
thing.
this is so frustrating. I remember being wowed by this when I first got the physical book. There is a whole section that is specifically spells that are altered when cast within Barovia. Maybe it's one of the appendices. Hang on one second.
Dependencies.
Gives you all the shit.
Oh, like plane shifting and shit like that, or dimension
Mhm.
hopping.
But also certain things like even Mage Hand is modified here, which
Oh,
I think is kind
yeah.
of cool.
I did read something like that once upon a time. Was it like a skeletal hand or something?
Yes, it is. I cannot find it, but I'm pretty sure I recall what happens.
DMV,
As-
run it.
Yes, I'm just going to go with it. And this is what I have in my head anyway. So, as you waft the incense towards it, and that chill kind of settles in around you, in fact, to the point of seeing bits of ice slowly start to form on the exterior of the corpse, and also even the outer layers of your equipment and everyone around you, which probably gets a muttered, "Well, that's not good," from Von Richten. You also see, stepping out of the fog in a circle around you, 10 feet wide, dozens of spectral figures. Barely visible, just the faintest outlines, with glowing blue cinders where their eyes should be. As though you reaching into the mists to call this spirit back has been heard by more than just this one.
All these spirits like way out? Way out?
10-ish feet or so. So close, but not quite close enough to talk to you. And yet, you get the feeling that they're all listening. Ask your questions.
All right.
As the eyes turn to look at you of this hanging figure, the mouth still slack.
I'll just be like, damn, you guys look rough. But hear ye. Why were you killed?
The corpse moves just so very slightly, looking around, and then locks back onto you. I was slain for an act of betrayal against my lord. And that is all you get. Simple
Ooh.
answers.
All right. What is your name?
In life, I was known as Asha Selikov.
Asha Selikov, huh? Write that down. Of course, the last name's spelled fucking all.
Yeah, all Eastern European.
Too many letters for 2 fucking syllables.
Mm-hmm.
And then, are we just gonna assume who the Lord was, or do we want to know?
Your choice if you wish to clarify, but I do know you're very limited on questions. So I will be nice and define that it seems like that Lord was capital L,
Oh, okay. So yeah, we know.
implying yes.
Hmm.
Can we still like whisper in our luck to see if?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
The questions
like-
have to come from his mouth, but questions, no matter what they may be, will be answered and count. From
Right,
him. Like go,
from
him.
you can ask. Yes. Narlag
Like-
has to be careful about what he says.
Like another question would be just like, what was your betrayal?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah. Well, I said, what was your betrayal?
Okay. I aided the enemy of my lord. I smuggled one who belongs to these lands beyond the mists.
Ooh. Out here running around doing an underground railroad. Goddamn Harriet Tubman over here.
Indeed.
All right, so she's a dirty traitor. We know that.
Well, traitor to Strahd, anyway.
And just like that, the corpse goes back to being limp, hanging on a rope.
You have 2 more. Total of 5.
Oh, I thought it was only 3.
Nope.
5, yeah. Up to 5.
Not-
So
Yeah, it could be 3 if you want it to be.
Uh-huh. Is there any more we want to know? I'm pretty satisfied.
what's it like
Okay.
being dead?
Wouldn't you want to ask who she smuggled out?
Yeah, that's probably actually a good question.
Okay. Who'd you
It might not
smuggle
be
out?
relevant, but wait, what if it is? Or a timeline of how long ago she smuggled it, or accomplices, or et
That's
cetera,
fair.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
The first question was who?
Yeah, who'd you smuggle out?
Okay. The one I was tasked with smuggling. I do not know their name. But it was a child from the village in the mountains behind tall wooden walls. I believe the people of this land call it Kresk.
Damn. These are a bunch of weirdos.
What about asking
are.
him if he has any friends who could smuggle us?
She, but you could
she
ask
has any
that.
friends that smuggle us?
Or, the color question, too.
Yeah, classic.
All right, yeah. Is there a way for us to be smuggled out?
Hmm. I have to think about how it would answer that because that is speculative.
True, and it can't
because
speculate.
Things have changed.
Does it-
However, I think it would still answer with the information that it had at the time of death. In exchange for a great payment, it is possible for my people to take others beyond the mists, though such a thing is not undertaken lightly.
Fair enough.
And with that being the fifth question, the corpse lets out a long, rasping breath and returns to being slack. And the figures in the fog around you linger for just a moment before one by one they turn and walk back into the fog.
Well, that was fun. I'm glad I took that spell.
It is an interesting one, and I think
Yeah.
has some very neat uses like that. You could only have guessed.
Exactly.
You were able to figure out it was a betrayal. We probably know how she was killed. We probably know that it was swift, but you didn't know why. And it does teach you something interesting about the Vistana, but I will not elaborate further.
They'll do anything for a coin. Even betray their lord.
Maybe she felt a little guilty with this, the young prey with her. Maybe wanted to help them out of guilt.
I was gonna ask her what her favorite pie was from the old lady.
Blueberry.
Would have been very funny and very on brand.
What is your recommendation for the pies?
Yes. What should I order for breakfast tomorrow?
There's a charger and the brick in there.
Um,
Yeah.
I assume everybody has here has seen the Speak with Dead scene from the D&D movie.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
asking. Phenomenal.
They
Also,
leave
if
the one
anybody...
dude just alive still. Yeah.
Hello? Please, someone ask me a question.
It's such a good movie.
It is. If anybody has not seen it, definitely see that film. Thoroughly enjoyable.
No, it's good.
I think it's on Peacock. I don't know. I watched it again.
I just
recently.
steal
I
it.
can't remember where.
I got my pirate hat.
Fair enough.
Yep. It is time to sail the seven seas again. Streaming is no longer what it was supposed to be.
I only have Peacock because that's where WWE does all of their live events.
There you go.
Yeah, I gotta start.
Yeah, I
doing
got
that shit.
Amazon Prime just because I'm on my dad's Prime.
Yeah, I can't get rid of that one, but I would if I could because
Right.
ads on streaming services that I'm already
Ain't that
paying
shit
for.
bullshit, dude? I'm already paying for this shit. Back to fucking cable.
Agreed. But, yes, you find yourselves, 5 answers more knowledgeable and standing here along the road. I think that probably would not go unnoticed by the figure nearby. Although it does not approach, you do hear shuffling footsteps off to your east, as though whatever it is came back at least to look in on you. But you can't make out between the fog and the densely packed trees what might be waiting out there for you.
The hunt has come to us.
Hmm.
I'll
Brilliant
be.
daylight.
I'll become a nice Yako a Barobachi, and I'll be in the front sniffing out anything I might be able to sense.
Okay, so you're gonna go into the woods?
No, I'm just gonna be in the front on the road, and I'm just gonna be paying attention, trying to see if I can kind of get
Okay.
a sense on what is might be in front of us, or maybe the wind's blowing and the scent's coming downwind, and I can get a good sniff.
Okay. So you will use your wild shape. You turn into a bear. Keeping your nose to the ground and, I suppose periodically up, looking for extra smells. But you all progress away from the corpse, passing through the massive stone gate, which, as before, Open only enough for your passage and close heavily immediately upon your exit. You can tell, speaking with that corpse, like, Octavio is kind of, lost in thought. And
Sorry.
Irina looks a little bit shaken, actually. I think she'd probably sidle up to Ervir, not Narlug, and just lean over. I don't think I've ever seen such magic worked before. Uh, was she truly alive again? Or she just,
Well,
yeah.
you see,
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna give you the whole
What
thing.
is life?
Yes.
I won't bog us down with the RP, but he does understand her. Maybe her trepidation, but I would almost call it maybe even almost a glimmer of hope. That's not exactly what it was. That it was merely puppet strings while the soul is still faded away.
Mm-hmm. And she kind of, nods and acknowledges that. And I don't think she elaborates, but there's a brief glance back at Barovia Village, and she says, I see. Um, Thank you for explaining. And takes a couple quicker steps to sort of move up to the middle of the pack where she's not directly next to anybody. And kind of, watching her feet more than anything as she walks along.
Boy, is she gonna be upset when we learn true resurrection and we're not here anymore.
Right? Well, you do know that her adoptive father died.
I know.
Like,
I
the
put that
day
together.
before you got here.
Yeah.
But yes, you progress along the ridge here, and I think even from this far away, Barobachi picks up on the wind a distinct scent of baked goods.
Uh-oh.
I can't do a bear.
But something delicious seems to be wafting your way from the west. And yeah, basically you progress along, and again, you can tell Von Richten's in a bit of a mood, Irina's a bit down, but you round the last couple switchbacks, and you approach the dusty trail that leads up towards the actual bone grinder. The old Svalich Road transitions here from being a winding path through the Balanok Mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainside as it descends into a fog-filled valley. Off in the distance, in the heart of the valley, you can see Valaki, near the shores of the great mountain lake, its waters dark and still. But a branch of the road leads west to a promontory, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill, its warped wooden vanes stripped bare. And that might be interesting, because you swear you saw it running with ragged sails on your way past.
At this point, can Narlug smell the
Yes,
goodness?
yes, I'm sorry. Now you definitely can as well.
Yeah, Narlug's definitely. Yes. We're going this way, boys.
Salivating.
I like to imagine that Narlug and Barobachi are like Yogi Bear. They're floating with their noses, and the smell. They're just like,
Hey, boo-boo! Let's go get some picnic baskets.
Yes. But as you approach closer, as a reminder, this onion-domed edifice leans forward and to one side, as though trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. You see gray brick walls and dirt-covered windows on the upper floors. A decrepit wooden platform encircles the windmill above a flimsy doorway leading to the building's interior. This time, there is no raven.
Them dirty bastards shoot us away last time.
Barobachi
No,
would look
it's
back
not
at the rest of
there.
you.
is here. Can
Like, there, we get a
everybody
map?
still see?
You gotta.
I
It's
gotta
all
scroll
black. You gotta
around.
place us. Where should we be placed?
You are already placed, but it's possible. I'll ping in just a second.
Maybe it's the vision. Gold. Roll 20.
So dark.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah. I can't see
Okay.
that.
There. Irvier's in the right spot. Can you see or no?
I can
Okay.
see.
Yep, I can see.
Okay.
I can't.
Oh.
Should I just drag my token on and see what happens?
Yeah, if you can see the
just drag your
ping,
token
just
out
drag your
already.
token out.
Yep, there we go.
Cool. Akabachi, same.
Yep.
Good. We also need Rictavio. Where are you, my friend?
Look at that suave ass roll, man.
All right. Yes, so you find yourselves outside of that flimsy wooden door. Up above, you can hear the creaking and groaning of machinery running. Not like an engine, but the steady, rhythmic creak and groan of wooden gears turning. And under everything, the sound of two particularly large stones grinding against each other, like a mill would make. And actually,
you said the
I
mill's
think
not turning.
the veins are not turning. But I think that should reveal to you. Whoa, not wide Rolmir. Should reveal to you guys like a idea of what this looks like from the side, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means it's having to be manually turned then, though, right? Like that's the obvious.
You would think so. There's some
Interpretation.
sort of
There's no
other
children
power
working. They
source.
might all be dead. We missed out on our child slaves.
You do not see any sign of children out here.
We see any
I
sign
will
of
say
adult-
though, no. There's currently nobody that you can see. However, I will say you see the cart tracks that seem to be fairly fresh as well, leading up towards the house or the windmill. But yeah, like I said, there is a Raven does not exist. There is a door, at least here, and you're pretty sure with a hop, if you really wanted, you probably could get up to that second level. But you can see even from here that the windows are very grimy.
I just chuck a fireball through the window.
There's certainly one
about to
method
learn
of
what a dust
breaching and
explosion
clearing,
is.
right?
I'm actually going to. So it's like
Utilize nuclear bomb.
it's instead it's like the upper window, like above us.
So yes, right above you there you can see the windows off to the side as well. They're like here and here. I'm on the GM layer. I'm sorry. They're like here and here, and also directly above the door, and one would assume on the back as well. And then there's also another set, another like 10 feet above that. So the first set is about 12 feet off the ground, but there is that narrow wooden walkway that runs just under them. Although it's certainly not in very good shape. And then the next set is another floor above that. But like I said, you just hear the machinery running, and if you... I don't know what else you would hear without any sort of active scouting, actually. I think that probably covers most noise.
I wonder if using, because I can never remember how to pronounce this.
Thaumaturgy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like try to use that to open up one of those windows, see if we can actually get a look inside.
Let's see. Such as rumble, thunder, cover. Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
if it's
blah.
unlocked, you can just make it fly open.
Fly open or slam shut. Okay.
Or dirty? To not look in it because it's a window? That's what it's for?
It's grimy.
I'm sorry. What, Mike?
He's saying he wants to open a window. I was like, but you're supposed to be able to see through a window already. You don't need to open them. So
But
that's
they
I was
are
asking if it
very
was
grimy.
dirty.
Yeah. I sorry, I thought I said that. Yes, they
Maybe.
are thoroughly dirty. Like more than just dusty and dirty. It almost looks like
I might have missed
somebody
it.
took a bowl of mud and smeared it all over the window panes. But yeah, you're gonna use thaumaturgy?
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, all right. You kind of point your hand, and there's a brief flash of, that infernal heritage behind your eyes. Just a brief bit of red. And sure enough, the window directly above the door. I assume you're only going for one, or are you going for all of them?
Maybe just one at a time.
Okay. So you point up and you gesture, and the window does flap open. You see it hinges out along the side and kind of, squeals on old rusty hinges as it does so. And following with like the window blowing open, there is a light like wafting of what looks like maybe flour or something similar, presumably from the mill in operation. Good call, Ervir, on the dust explosion. And I'm going to briefly move you here, which would be approximately the same orientation. Actually, I think that's closer. As the window above pops open. And inside, you hear a rather raspy voice call out, "What manner of devilry is this? Right, fucking damnable windows." And sure enough, you see. That still doesn't actually take them to the correct layer like I want it to. Granny kind of dodders over to the window and reaches out. She's not actually like out, but like leans over the threshold to grab the window and goes to pull it shut and sees you. And when you last met her, there was nothing but a nice, kind, grandmotherly smile on her face, and she spoke very slowly and patiently. But there's a brief moment where she sees you all, where there's a distinct narrowing of her eyes and suspicion, and she kind of scowls down, looking across the group. But rapidly, the grin is back. Oh, well, please do excuse my foul language. I didn't know there were customers about. Have you come for more of my delicious pastries?
Narlock's just gonna nod. Yes.
You're gonna hurt his neck.
Behind
Was
her,
it from Lord of the Rings when Bilbo like briefly has that when he goes for the ring? There's
yeah,
just like a split second of being like crazy angry and shit.
I am
um,
going to.
mhm.
I want to do an insight check on that though, so I want to see if like she's just putting on like a front though, or if she just like assumes that we're like here to be actually customers.
God bless your soul, Romir, you innocent sweet summer child.
You can definitely see behind her, by the way, or just waiting on the roll. There is a big wooden gear shaft that is slowly
Damn,
turning.
Romir.
Oh, do I still have
Oh,
guidance?
probably not.
I don't
Sure
think you
don't.
need the guidance.
But yes, you can see the machinery working behind her. And in fact, I think from that angle, you can probably see some of the gears that actually connect to the millstone. Yeah, I mean, it's totally like a terrible attempt to cover up that she was pissed that you're even here. And immediately, like, just trying to put the sales space back on.
Because I don't know if she's like trying to do that or if she has like people here too though. So if we're gonna get ambushed or something like that.
Hmm.
I mean, would you rather fight one, child the size of Mike Tyson, or 20 children Mike Tyson's?
Or 20 child size Mike Tysons. I'm definitely taking the Mike Tyson-sized child, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if there would be really enough information to play across her
Okay.
face for you to know that. I think you just would definitely get like a distinct sense that she doesn't really want you here.
Okay.
Good thing Narleg's an orc and he doesn't care.
Right?
He doesn't need to be welcome into your house.
You prefer if you didn't.
Exactly.
But yes, she asks if you're here to purchase more of the pies, and just kind of waits expectantly with a big
Yes,
grin.
Narleg's got change in his pocket and it's burning out. Like, he needs pies.
Very well then. Give me just a moment. I'll come down and let you in. Then she steps away from the window. She will.
Narleg's gonna
close it
whisper to the
again.
crowd, just like, let me get my pies first, then we can do what we're doing.
And you can hear her kind of doddering down the stairs, and we'll move you back to where you were.
Oh, that's cool. It just has like the different
Yeah,
floors
it's a
and
different
layer.
floor.
Yeah, that's cool.
And yes, he will open up the door.
So I just buy the pies and sleeper.
You could. But yes, she swings the door out and please excuse the mess. I've just gotten back from my trip to the village and I haven't quite had time to pick up yet. I sold all of my wares, you see, and I had to immediately set upon making another batch. And she will
Ooh,
step
freshies.
back into the room and gesture you in. You can see the building's not particularly large, so you're probably going to have to squeeze a little bit if all of you are going inside.
Narleg's definitely going in.
I will follow Narlog as a bear.
As a bear.
Are you a medium-sized bear or a large-sized
Medium.
bear? Okay.
He's a black bear.
I think. Oh, interesting. Is she going to let a random bear into her house?
Right? This is Florida woman, dude. She might just
I
beat
think
your ass and scare you off.
as you go to step in, like, no fear, no shock, she's going to reach down and try to put a hand on, like, your face and push you back. Oh, no. I've got far too many perishable and edible things in here for pets. I'm sorry, dearie, she says, looking at you, Narlug. And
Oh, no, Narleg's gonna he's gonna snap at Ikabachi, like heal.
Okay.
Don't worry, he's well trained. He doesn't do anything I don't let him do.
Fair enough. Akabachi, as she still like reaches out and kind of goes to push you, you feel enough strength that you're pretty sure there's a chance she would have shoved you out of the way from this frail old, wrinkled and liver spotted hand. That's a 24 on the athletics. So do you accept being shooed by both of them, or are you going to barrel your way in anyway?
No,
Barrel.
I will be shooed, and then I will sit like a pouty bear. Be like, do the thing with like the hands over my snout.
Had circus bear.
Ah.
Okay.
Narleg will walk over and pet him on the head and be like, good boy.
Right. So, pies, yes. I take it you must have enjoyed the first one quite a bit. And,
I've been dreaming of it since.
I always love to hear it. But a description of this room. The ground floor has been converted into a makeshift kitchen, but the room here is filthy. Baskets and old dishware are piled up everywhere. Adding to the clutter is a peddler's cart, the one you've seen in town, a chicken coop, a heavy wooden trunk, a pretty wooden cabinet with flowers painted on its doors, and all manner of additional clutter and rigmarole. In addition to the clucking of chickens, you hear toads croaking. The sweet smell of pastries blends horridly with a stench that burns your nostril. The awful odor comes out of an open, upright barrel in the center of the room. Warmth issues from a brick oven against the far wall, and a crumbling staircase ascends the wall across it. Shrieks and cackles from somewhere up higher cause the old mill to shudder.
Narlug's gonna take a big whiff and just be like, I haven't felt at home since I came through the fog.
You recognize the smell.
You might. Give me a religion roll. Let me think. Yeah, I think so. And I think you would probably like if you were to kind of like lean and crane to watch him walk in, you'd get enough of a glimpse at it. So the barrel is full of a greenish black ooze, and Ervir, you recognize the smell as Dretch Ichor, the blood of the lowest of demons. Demons? Yes, demons, not devils.
Devils make
Those are
deals.
the assholes always trying to steal our bricks.
Devils make deals.
They are, aren't they?
And demons
They
demolish.
Yeah.
Which they'd remove that from the lore, but I kind of like it, so I just run with it.
I think it's fun. So yeah, then you definitely recognize it. You've had rat fuck brick stealing asshole 101 in cleric class, and they definitely had this as an example. So you recognize what that is. I think Narlug, you're probably a little bit too distracted.
Yes.
But she'll dodder across the room, kind of squeezing by you, and in between you and the cart. Oh, excuse me, dearie. And she will crack open the oven and take a look inside. And you can see as she does so, there's a dozen fresh pastries that are cooking.
Irvin won't say anything just yet, but I think he would go wide-eyed at that realization, and anyone that glanced at him, including Granny, would instantly clock that he recognizes it.
Mm-hmm. I think she's distracted enough keeping Narlug busy, but anybody else might see there. And I think Von Richten probably also has a quirked eyebrow and makes eye contact with you, seeing that you also recognize it.
Charade's time. He nods to Romir.
Mm-hmm. Rictavio cocks his head and quietly mumbles, "Horny suicide?" No.
What type of curmudgeon are you?
He nods at what you're actually getting at, demon blood. And I think very quietly, hearing that she's still babbling at Narlug, like, at least it's of a weak variety. But yes. Oh, I'm so sorry, dear. I think they still need a little bit of time to cook. Maybe, and she just barehanded, like no oven mitt, reaches into the oven and kind of picks one up, turns it slightly, and sticks a finger into the top where a little bit of the filling is kind of bubbled out of the cross in it, and just still sizzling and bubbling. Oh, another 15 or 20 minutes ought to do. But you'll need to wait for them to cool.
If it means I get a fresh one, I will wait. And by one, I mean 20.
Fair enough.
Our war chest. How much are those?
1 gold.
Oh.
And Narlug's got a sack on him.
That's at least 12.
Yeah. Narlug's got 244 on him.
Spend all your gold on meat pies.
I mean, if she had 244 meat pies, I'd take them all.
Are we still gonna let him buy the meat pies?
I don't think Gnarlig's gonna take no for an answer.
Narlig is still
And don't worry,
semi-compelled to do so.
he has a plan for these meat pies.
Dave, you ever seen
Yeah,
Supernatural?
the plan
You know what
is
they did to
really-
the last guy that drank demon blood?
I've only seen 2 episodes of Supernatural.
It's not that one.
Oh, I saw
What?
the one where like they get placed in our reality and they have to be.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one. Where they're the
that's a-
actors.
Yeah, they
For
have to
the
be
show
the
Of
actors.
all
Yeah.
the episodes to have seen.
And then
I
I
think
saw
there's
another
really.
one.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, you go ahead. It doesn't matter. It's
I
Supernatural.
was just gonna say, I don't think fair. I don't think there are any other episodes that would be quite as bad of a pick to have no context for. But I do think that the best one to have no context for is the Scooby-Doo episode, where they get sucked into a television and it is literally animated Sam and Dean running around with the Scooby Gang and slowly breaking their brains as they realize that, as they tell them that ghosts are real.
Yeah, the only other one I saw was the Purgatory one.
Bummer.
Yeah. No, I should watch it. I heard the first like 5 seasons are good.
Yes, the first 5 seasons are good. After that, it's kind of up to you if you give a
Yeah.
shit. But
What's
there
it-
are
when
2 or
did
3
it do that,
episodes
like,
after that are
The one that they can
absolutely
actually read the
phenomenal.
word of God, I heard that's when it starts to go down.
Demon
Yes.
blood's probably not good to drink.
Probably not.
I mean,
Even if you
Narlig's
cook
dude.
it out.
What if you do like purified like food and drink and then you drink it?
Oh, wait a minute. Well, can you purify food and drink on blood if you're intending to drink it?
Or remove curse.
Well, I don't think you would make it not demon blood. I just can't imagine it's good for you, but I don't know if
It
it's
would-
like poisonous.
I would argue yes, you could. There are
That's a-
even real world examples of blood being used in
Yeah.
food.
If it's like diseased deer or meat, that would include the blood in
Yeah.
the meat.
I would say yes.
Hmm.
But I don't know if a barrel of demon acre counts as drink. If that's what you're asking.
Right. That's not food or drink. That's just blood.
Well, it's going into food or drink.
Is it?
We don't know that.
That's my best guess.
It's just there.
Otherwise, she just got a barrel of Icarus chilling there.
Good. Or what if we
What if she's
like,
enslaving children with it?
what if we like purify like the food and drink for like the meat pies though, so they don't have the drug effect.
Well, don't worry while I'm here. Narlig's thinking about that. Narlig has a
So
plan.
We're saying purify this like Randy's not right there.
Right. Well, you're talking about this out of character. I assume you're not out there having this
Well,
conversation
no, but
at a
like,
loud
how are we
volume.
gonna do that with Granny chilling?
Narlig's just yelling through the door opening, like, "Yeah, don't worry, guys, I got a plan for this." Ikapachi keeps sitting.
Are there any additional rooms, or only the stairs going up?
On this floor, it's just the one round room. It seems to take up the entirety of the windmill. And there are stairs going up, and you would estimate at least 2 more floors based on the windows. And probably a third up in the dome itself.
I have an infiltration plan.
Okay.
Infiltrate. We're already here.
I mean, actually getting like inside so we could get like deep inside, or at least I can. We have Rictavio and me disguise self though. I disguise myself as a child,
Okay.
and so I.
You do have to be the same size category, I think.
You do? I thought.
Big bone.
And I thought it has to be a child, like it has to be someone you've seen before.
Yeah, but he's seen plenty of children around. Go ahead and link the spell. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let's see.
Is it a child that she knows? You know, like I imagine she probably
Okay,
brands
yeah.
them. You know, they all got like little fucking.
You could seem
Jew-
1 foot
Jew
shorter or
tattoos.
taller.
I could always enlarge reduce them too.
You're a tall
1
kid.
foot shorter or taller.
You're 5 foot, you're 4'8" kid. How tall are you? 6 feet?
Yeah, it's a 5-foot
You're a
child.
5 foot child. You're like a.
Hey,
like,
Zach was a 5-foot child.
I'm telling you.
I play basketball.
That's true.
Zach can play basketball.
I was
Fucking 30
6
rebounds a
feet
game.
tall in 8th grade.
Dude, Zach had a fucking goatee and was slam dunking on bitches in the Christian League.
I couldn't slam dunk, but I would get all my own rebounds.
There's frogs in here.
Yes, and in fact, I was just about to mention a frog. So you hear lots of croaking and frog noises. And as she closes the oven again, one of them hops out of the back of the cart, and she goes, "Ah, where do you think you're going?" And grabs it, and just like bashing a rat, just grabs it by the back half and thwacks it on one of the barrels. And it kind of like still sort of moving, and she thwacks it again, and she pulls out of her apron like a little paring knife and immediately starts to get it and get the meat off of it.
Have we heard frogs anywhere else in Barovia?
I don't think so.
I don't think we've run into anything but wolves and ravens.
Like, we've
Or
been
crows.
to a couple bodies of water.
Yeah, I don't think you would have heard frogs at the lake you were at, and I don't think
We
there would
were
have been frogs near the fall.
Yeah, it'd be Serpool and
Oh, I
lake.
can't remember the name of it either, but yes.
There's that weird water in Kresk.
that's different. Hold on.
Yes, but that was carbonated water.
Yeah,
Bunch
it's
of
not a frog.
They're a
That
bunch
was
of poke
Perrier, not Frog Fuck Pond.
They're posh frogs. They only drink Perrier, or they only swim in Perrier.
It's the Warner Brothers frog. He's got a fucking top hat and shit.
Michigan J Frog.
Yep.
But yeah, interesting note, Mervier. I don't think you have seen frogs anywhere else.
But yeah, I don't know if this guy's.
Yeah, there was just this short
baller.
story I read once that I didn't like by Clive Barker.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I'm not saying whether or not anything was
I'm
inspired
not
here.
saying shit. All I'm saying is I'm putting some very stereotypical pieces together.
But yeah, she goes to work butchering a frog right in front of you, Narlug, and just kind of humming to herself. Ah, yes, nice.
Doesn't
and
care. This is
fresh,
every day to
that's right.
Narlug. He's like,
Yeah, I know.
He assumes that's what goes in the pie.
Yeah. So, what are the rest of you up to? As I assume he's just content to sit and wait and twiddle his thumbs.
Yep.
I'm going.
He's playing that game your grandpa taught you. You twirl your thumbs this way and then you twirl them this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over to Barrel Bocce though, and kind of like act like I'm petting him though, and I'm eavesdropping.
Okay.
Burger's not even hiding it. He's just looking in.
So if you're just like looking in, she's turned away from you, Ervier, but you occasionally, as she's kind of like crouched down with the knife working, you see her look back at you. But as she's working, she's just talking at Narlug like, it's very important that you butcher them when they're fresh. You don't want to let them sit. It spoils the meat. And she's just rambling on about the proper uses of frogs
True.
in pie making.
Frogs are not like cows. Like, they're always scared, so butcher them faster.
See, you understand. Ah, a kindred spirit. And I think Octavio is probably. You can see him puzzling something out too, and he looks. You see him looking up and then back down at the ground and thinking. And Irina leans over to you, Ervier, and goes, "Does he not realize how utterly bizarre this is?" And kind of looks into where Narlug is just.
Right. Like I said, Narlug's never felt so at home.
He's a simple man.
And I think she kind of leaves it at that.
Say, Since you've grown up and been around Barovia for a while, did you ever see any frogs?
Not in, well, many years. They used to be more common in my youth. No, I have seen frogs. There was a time, maybe 4 or 5 seasons ago. I don't remember exactly what happened, but something irritated Lord Strahd, and it rained frogs for about 4 days straight. But I assume you mean more in a normal capacity. No, not in a long time.
So where would one get a wheelbarrow full of frogs?
The wheelbarrow is not full of frogs. There's just like frog noises all over the room. One just happened to hop out of her cart that she transports the pies with. But you can hear them, and like if you look for them, you can see like little beady frog eyes peeking out from like in between piles of clutter. And actually, you're not hiding it. You're looking around the room. Make me an active perception check, both of you. Actually, yeah, Rolmir, do it too. And sure, Barobachi, you can see.
Not too great. I don't got a good angle.
It's not a particularly high check.
The pets
Oh,
are good right now.
Barobachi though.
The pets
Yeah,
are too.
yeah.
Just.
Is that
You're
just your
feeling
straight
it.
wisdom roll?
I would use my character actually, but fuck it. It was a 5 anyway. Wouldn't matter.
Yeah. So it'd be like a 9 or something.
Exactly.
Okay. So okay, both
Yeah,
Irvir,
the fucking consistency.
right? He is a very consistent roller. Both Irvir and Rolmir notice that scattered around all of the garbage that's all over the floor are an assortment of small bones. And as you catch that and you focus for a moment, they look human to you. A rib here, a femur there.
Again, even if Narlock noticed that,
You are
Wouldn't
actually
care.
incapable of noticing it due
Ooh.
to what's going on. But the two of you definitely do.
Like
Hell yeah, areas intended for level 2 characters. It's a DC 11.
How horrifying
what
that this is intended for level 2 characters.
Mm-hmm.
were we, like level 2 or 3 when we first came here?
Probably.
I think you were 2.
Like, I kind of like lean over and I like whisper over to Irvir, and I was like, I don't think those are frog bones.
Not unless a frog has a femur that long.
It's a pretty big bullfrog.
Fair.
That's an elephant frog.
But as she finishes mincing the frog that she's talking to you about, she just scrapes the guts into that barrel and kind of like lumps the meat she's gotten on one corner of the top of this crate, grabs another frog, similarly clubs it against the crate a couple times, and goes on to prep that one as well. You notice she carefully lays the skin out and kind of stretches it out.
Ooh,
And
that's the
then
best
as soon
part.
as she skins the second one, she does the same and kind of layers it on top.
God, I hope that's the top layer.
When you
And you
cast,
said,
how
"Oh,
loud do you
that's
have
the."
to cast?
You can mutter, but it, you know, you can't like make it so incredibly quiet that it isn't audible. But if you're trying to make it quieter, there is machine noise here. I'll give you a chance at a deception roll.
If I stepped away.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, unlikely she would hear you out there facing away and trying your best to be quiet.
Detect magic.
Okay. Link it, please. Because detect magic is blocked by stone.
It is.
1 foot of stone. Okay, so the walls are more than a foot thick, but you can cast it and then
And
concentrate
moon
on it.
back.
Yeah. Okay. So as you do that, obvious things first, right? So Rictavio glows. You know he has a disguise effect on him. You also notice there's several other things hidden about his person that have glows. Obviously, your party members. Irina doesn't have a glow to her at all. Barobachi does. And as you glance around the room, there is a magical effect draped over her entirely. Like her whole body shimmers. And there is a different source of magic underneath.
Yeah.
The barrel is highly magical. The
A
oven
different
is
source of
highly
magic
magical.
underneath that shimmer
Like
under
a
her.
different.
So there's two
So
layers, or you mean like the floor?
no, like 2 layers.
Okay.
There's an active effect on the outer layer, and then sort of like any of your friends would glow that have magical abilities, but hers is much more intense. The oven glows for sure, and then a number of little odds and ends. Oh, the cabinet. There's a
Does he
distinct glow
notice
coming from.
anything around Narlug?
Narlug would definitely glow the normal amount that you'd expect, but also probably whiffs and wafts of like light bits of magic kind of pouring out
Well,
of his ears right
I'm
now.
talking about the shadow thing.
Oh, is it currently attached to you? Even or odd? Narlug, even or odd?
I'll go even.
Okay. I think yes, you probably do detect that as well. His shadow is definitely magical, and as that draws your attention to it, you notice it. It's about 5 degrees off of where it should be based on the light from the oven.
And then, does anybody have good intelligence besides Narlug?
Arr.
Narlug's
Bear.
strong and buff, dude. He's like fucking Aristotle. Or who's the other guy? Socrates.
Yeah.
I was mainly like seeing if asking
But-
if Irvir.
Ervir's got decent int, doesn't he? Or are you?
I think I've got it at 10. Yeah, I've got it 10. It's not negative.
This bear has 12.
But I mean, this is
Bear
still
has
not.
12 int.
He's smarter
I
than
think-
the average bear.
You know what? In fact, you're close enough to this effect regularly. You recognize the outer layer for sure as a disguised self on her.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't know if I had to figure out, like, do a check to see if it is though, because
Oh, well, you don't have detect magic running, right? So you probably can't
I
see it.
I probably wouldn't see it. I would only imagine it's just Irvir seeing it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I was about to start saying that he's probably starting to relay this under his breath.
Mhm.
Like, you can do that, can't you? And now that he knows he could make a check against it,
Yes, I believe that's correct if you're trying to identify it.
but all that would tell him is that it's a disguise.
Correct. And I'm basically giving it to you for free because, again, Rictavio has it up almost constantly. Ralmir has talked about
Yeah.
doing it. It appears to you to be the disguise self spell.
So what do you guys want to do about it?
Arr.
Thing that I'm concerned about is whoever's giggling and laughing upstairs. I'm starting to get a bit suspicious. Not just that she's not what she seems, but that she's a specific thing. And if she is, well, that's problematic.
There's only her down here right now, right?
Indeed, but, well, if I count correctly, that's 2 giggling voices upstairs. And there's only one sort of evil old lady that comes in threes, in my experience.
Think we could handle it before backup gets here?
Depends on what flavor she is. Gonna have to hit her hard and fast, though.
Marr! Yakubachi's doing that thing where like he's just like patting the ground like he wants to move but he can't because he was told to
Mhm.
sit.
I think he would look
Looked
over.
over his snaps again.
I think he would look over at Ayakobachi and probably, again, very quietly, but you've got pretty keen hearing right now as a bear. Whatever we do, I think you're gonna have to tie her up. And he doesn't mean literally with a rope. He just means like you need to get in there and fucking grapple her. Otherwise, we might have a problem.
Marr!
Narlug's gonna try to give a hand signal, like, "Yo, can I get my pies first?"
Dialogue is not privy to this conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear them. I think they're probably talking outside of your hearing, especially with her talking directly at you in there.
I'm saying sculpting spells is a choice. Just remember that.
Yeah, it is true. The poor frogs.
He sculpts around the frogs and not the party.
Yeah.
Going aggro on the party is a good way to find out what.
At least
What
with
else?
Brandon's signature fireballing friendlies, it was always himself. It became a running gag that inevitably he would throw like a Hail Mary fireball at his own feet. Grappled by Strahd? Fuck it, fireball.
Bam!
Well, Yakubachi will wait for the signal, whatever that may be.
Hey, Narlug knows absorb elements, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think at this point, Von Richten looks at you, Ervir.
Why me?
Because,
I
lad,
mean,
I'm an NPC. I don't initiate combat.
could give Ralmir a hell of an opening with
You could
Path to the
head
Grave.
to the grave.
Like, all right, go sneak attack out of initiative. I'm going to ready hold an action to Path to the Grave as soon as I see you swing. But
Y'all ready?
Marr!
no,
Or did Narla get its pies yet?
Probably not.
Probably got at least 10 minutes. I assume some of this is just kind of time passing, but not as long as it has in real life.
I'm debating how we can use our environment to our advantage. And how at a disadvantage we might be. Do we have a stronger opening than a Path to the Grave sneak attack? I don't get any. When I detected magic, the building itself didn't emanate anything, right?
No, it did not.
It's a giant mimic.
And I think that you can't pick up anything from past this. Well, how much wood? Wait, one for some of the things you.
It's a disguised bag of holding.
How far? 30 feet. I think kind of like. Actually, no. The millstone is directly above you. You cannot detect anything else further above.
Mostly, I was concerned that like it would be some sort of magically enchanted lair that she would just know that she was being snuck up on.
You don't get the sense
Yeah.
that that would be the case.
Well, in that case, let's move back on over here.
Lightly cast bless.
That's right. You guessed right.
I'm getting blessed this time.
You are getting blessed this time. I'm upcasting it. Sorry, Irina.
Oh, that's fair. Hang on, let me see. Open character. Ugh. Hmm. I think he is going to gesture for Irina to step over, and you notice he slips a silver ring off of one of his fingers and onto hers, and mutters a quick prayer under his breath, and she pulses briefly with like a just a faint glow of divine energy. And Ervir, you probably recognize the spell right out the gate. Death Ward.
Oh shit. That's not good.
Yeah. And you see she's confused, and he just says, better to be safe than sorry.
I will upcast Bless at 2nd level and target myself, Rolmir, Tavio, and Barrel Bocce.
Okay.
What icon were we using for Bless?
I like little angel wings, but you can use whatever you like.
What was that? Let's see. I'll hunt for them enough. There. Neat.
What is Death Ward?
Death Ward prevents the first instance of damage that would kill you, or that would drop you to 0. So basically, instead of dropping you to 0, no matter how hard you're hit, you drop to 1.
Narlug's just got that built in.
Yeah, you do.
Narlug's
And,
fucking Geodude out in here.
If of course, if Ervir shares that information with us, Yakobachi's got a plan for that. Barobachi's got some plans for that old spell.
Multi-swipe.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sure after the combat, it could be discussed so you could make a scroll.
Oh, and it
No,
does
I
have
don't
a
want to make a
secondary
scroll.
effect
I have a way
as
of,
well.
of getting rid of it, but I wouldn't know it unless you tell me.
No, Death Ward is good. It's for our Irina.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
it was,
he's casting it on Irina.
I thought it was on
no.
the baddie.
No, he
Then never
casts
mind.
it on her. And there is a secondary effect, so here's the full text of the spell. You touch a creature and grant it a measure of protection from death. The first time the target would drop to 0 hit points as a result of taking damage, the target instead drops to 1 hit point, and the spell ends. It also lasts for 8 hours, by the way. If the spell is still in effect when the target is subjected to an effect that would kill it instantaneously without dealing damage, that effect is instead negated against the target and the spell ends. So it also prevents things like power word kill.
A good old Vorpal sword head cut off.
Yes.
Or Magnum.
Vorpal
Or
Magnum.
Meg.
Surely, Granny doesn't know power word kill, right? Surely.
Well, we got 60 seconds to find out.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Barobachi!
Ervir.
Did he
line
just
of
run?
sight here? And he's gonna leave room for the bear, and then give
It's
the
a,
signal to Rolmir.
All right.
Am I going in first?
Gonna grab a drink. I can still hear everything.
Bear
Okay.
grappling. Bear grappling first, or am I doing sneak attack first?
Well, whoever rolls, we're just gonna roll it. And
I
just do the
assume.
thing.
Well, I would like to get a prize round if we can.
Yeah. I'll just...
I don't want to just charge in bear first and give Granny time to react and go. You
Alright.
stupid asshole! I rolled a 20. Fireball. Upcast at 9th level.
9th level.
Alright, yeah, I'm going in now. Cool.
Okay.
Um, for the sneak attack, or do you want me?
Oh, this you gotta like hide.
Well, it depends on how he wants to do it.
I guess you could just like nonchalantly walk in and just stab her in the back. Be like, oh yeah, just checking the shit out.
Well, she seems distracted with Norlug though, so yeah, I'm actually gonna like try to be all sneaky. So I guess do a stealth check. Yeah.
Okay. Go
Instead
for
of
it.
just instead of dashing in and just trying to stab her.
Mhm.
I mean, that'd probably surprise her too, but who knows? But
You
yeah,
probably could walk in. She'd probably give you attention, but which I guess gives her time to react to you, unless she goes back to whatever fuck she's doing.
yeah, like when she's
I'll play it her way. Irvi's just gonna hold the
Yeah.
path to the grave as soon as he sees you swing.
okay, and then yeah, I'm just gonna wait till see like when she's like going towards the oven though, and then that seems like the plan.
Yeah, I mean, she's just kind of busying herself with
Like when her back is turned though, but I'm just gonna do a stealth check then. And then sneak up on her though.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Mm.
Ooh.
Oh,
Hmm.
Tripped over some bear dung. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Abort the action, thankfully, even if like
Yeah, you
she
stumble a
sees
little
you.
bit as you step into the room, and I think you would immediately see her look up and, oh, hello, dear. I think I sold you a pie too, didn't I?
uh, yes, you did, and I liked it very much. Uh,
Well, that's
and I
lovely
was,
to
Darla will
hear.
be like, you owe me a pie.
and I was just seeing what your wares were going to be. Do you want me to just do a deception roll?
That is definitely a deception roll.
There you go. There you go.
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
I
Okay.
was seeing a one roll. I was like, oh fuck, not again.
She kind of, you can see she's still a little suspicious, but very well. Well, as I told your very charming friend here, and she like reaches over and Granny pinches your cheek.
And Darla's just
Um,
like, yeah, he eats it up.
uh, and as her pinch falls away, she kind of like slaps her ass a little bit, but just like does not look at you at all. Kind of leans towards Romir. It'll be about 10 to 15 minutes until they're done, but then I'll have up to 12 to sell you. You all look like the wealthy sort. I'm sure you could walk away with the whole lot.
How long has it been since we blessed?
Not long.
Not long. 20 seconds.
We got
I know it
20
does only
seconds.
last for a minute. Yep.
Let's see. Would you mind showing me? Are they still cooking, or are they just cooling off right now?
Still cooking, I'm afraid. And she will. Hmm.
He did just check him.
She did. She's also relatively intelligent, you know. I think she probably would crack the oven and step back a little bit and gesture for you to take a look. See for yourself. They should be a lovely golden brown, and I think they're still looking a bit pale. And she like
Almir's resistant to fire.
makes room for you to take a look.
Okay, and then I'm going to do an insight because I don't like how you said pale.
Fair enough. Um Oh, let's see. Why did I close her character sheet? Seems normal enough to
Every
you.
night.
They look a bit pale. She's just a granny. She sort of drags out words a little bit unusually sometimes. Nothing seems unusual to you.
Let me see. Okay, and then I'm just going to. I'm going to lean over, like just to
Uh-huh.
like to take a look though, and I am going. Oh, I hit the. And then when I lean over, I am going to pull out my dagger. Do you want me to do a
Okay.
sleight of hand for
If
that?
you're trying to do it sneaky and you're not immediately just going to try and stab her, then yes, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to do that, and then kind of try to do a sneak attack off of that.
Okay. That does beat her, and it is a nat 20. We honor those around here. She doesn't seem to notice. So you are able to like lean forward and carefully, slip your hand down and draw your dagger where she can't really see it because of the drape of your coat. And yeah, I guess you can make your sneak attack. $13 to hit.
That with bless.
+4 plus proficiency. No, that is not with bless. Go ahead and roll that bless. You
Oh,
need to roll well.
I have bless.
There's
that's
the
weird.
there's the bless under saving throws and the bless underneath your attacks. You got them in both.
So you can just add a d4. So like roll a d4.
Fuck.
A 1. I'm
What is,
afraid that a 14 does not hit.
What does what was Irvier holding?
Path to the grave.
Path to the grave.
I forget what that does.
Next attack
Well,
makes
that-
you vulnerable.
Yeah, makes her take double damage from the next instance of
So
damage.
it goes off based on my trigger, but you miss.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure we're in initiative now.
We are in initiative.
Damn.
However, her readied action goes off. And oh man, how mean do I want to be?
Be mean.
Yeah, be mean.
Okay. Down for, 100 feet in that direction. Everybody please make me I almost said reflex, a dexterity saving throw. As she
Dexterity.
leans back out of the way and she points a finger and shouts something that leaves a tang of ozone in the air and casts lightning bolt. I need to pop this character sheet out for sure. Okay, dex save. Narlug definitely fails. Akabachi
Yeah.
succeeds. Ralmir succeeds. Irvir succeeds.
I got 28. I better succeed this.
I go figure. I got to absorb elements prepared.
You need initiative, sir. You need initiative. Everybody who made the save, please take 16 lightning damage. Narlug, please take 33 lightning damage.
Narlug's hurt. He's on the ground. He's fried.
I thought it brings you to 1, right?
No, I'm down to 11, but it hurt.
Oh.
Yeah.
It hurt.
I will remind you of a spell that you mentioned earlier. Would you like to absorb elements, sir?
I can't. I don't have it prepared. I took Speak of the Dead.
Okay.
you do have a spell scroll. Or was it consumed by
Ooh.
copying it into the book?
It was consumed by copying in the book,
Oh,
I
okay,
think.
well then fuck it.
That is how that
Yeah.
works. Also, can you use a scroll as a reaction?
I
You
don't
just
think
use,
so,
you
actually.
use the scroll based on what it is. Whatever it is, that's
Oh.
how it works.
But either way,
Fair
it's
enough.
gone because I put it in my spell book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good place to have it.
Yeah. And then we go to rounds. Let's start descending.
I know what Gnarlig's doing.
Let's see. So, yes,
Oh,
Good thing
he
Rawmere is
fires
resistant to fire.
a lightning bolt out of the door.
I am
Yes,
going to
Valmir?
disengage.
Well, you're up next, but
Don't worry, Rawmere. I
Um,
can skip spells. I like you.
I think
But can I
I can-
sculpt around the pies? That's the important part.
right. Well, they are currently in a stone oven. Oh, how mean do I want to be?
You mean it's a boss fight?
Oh no, this is 100% a potential TPK, depending on how mean. But yeah, you tried to attack her with a dagger. She doesn't know for sure. She is going to point at you, Ralmir. And as she kind of like points her fingers in your direction, each of the tips lets out a black beam that kind of coalesce together and try to strike you in the chest. Let's see if this actually hits. Oh, it's a save. Please give me Constitution saving throw. Okay, you're good. So in that case, the spell washes off of you, but for the briefest moment, you feel like all of the strength go out of your limbs before you're able to kind of shrug off the effect. It's not very nice to come into a little old lady's home and try to go stabbing her with sharp things. But she is going to reposition here. And I think as she casts that second spell, you see a brief flicker in the image that's overlaid that makes her look like this kindly old granny. And for a brief moment, you see a sickly purple and horned figure. Before the illusion settles back into place. And that will be her turn. Romeo.
Okay. Now, since I attacked with, so I had the dagger equipped though. I don't have the rapier equipped, right?
You can switch. You get kind of like
Okay.
a
Okay.
A free
wishy-washy,
action.
free object interaction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to switch to the duelist repair.
Okay.
And I'm going to swing at her.
Okay. That'll hit.
9. Okay.
9, and that is magical.
Double it to
correct?
18.
Yeah, it's magical.
Yes.
Path to the grave still active.
Yes, it is still active, so minus 18. You get the feeling, particularly with the effect that Ervir has thrown at her, and you've seen it work before, although it was kind of a middling effect then as well. That should have been a hell of a blow. Not a sneak attack. You didn't get her in any of the proper, organs or anything. But as you stab her, she almost barely reacts. You get the feeling that 18 kind of scratched the surface there. Got a big old bag of HP.
I see. Okay. And I'm just gonna go next. And then I'm just gonna like look over to Norlug though and kind of like see if he's gonna throw a fireball.
Don't worry, Narlug's not gonna kill you.
Oh, right. I was gonna say I could just leave because I can disengage without.
That is
No,
true.
I can sculpt.
Okay. Still probably. Yeah, probably want to. I probably still want to do that though, just so Karabachi though can come in though. Then I can actually get in with a flank too. Oh, that seems like alright, yeah, so I'm going to disengage and then move.
Okay.
15. I'm gonna move here.
Okay. If you do want to go further, you can. Like, obviously, there's not a wall there, but if that's your 30,
Yeah,
then...
no, I mean, I didn't want to go like too. I don't want to go too far, so I want to go back in.
Fair enough. Okay.
Plus, I can always dash back in too, so that's always a
Fair.
thing.
Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, that's it.
Okay. I think Irina goes to draw her sword and kind of looks over at Rictavio, and he just shakes his head. And instead, I'm going to treat this as his object interaction on his turn, I guess. He's going to put his hands out like this, and she's going to step up onto the platform above and kind of, let's see, what is her standing jump? What is your strength? Yes, she's going to jump there and then kind of carefully move along to the other window. And you can see then she draws her sword and like waits to see if there's anybody coming down the stairs, because you did hear voices from above, and she's there to maybe stab anybody who tries to join this fight.
How tall is the ceiling?
About 8 feet on this floor.
Would it be fair to guess that the next ceiling would be 8 feet after that?
Yeah, give or take. But yeah, so that'll be Irina's turn. Narlag, excuse me.
Narlug's just gonna throw a fireball on the ground and sculpt around himself.
Okay.
You're probably gonna have to sculpt everyone.
It's blocked by the walls, but you might
Last
have
he's
to
directly in front of the wall or in front of the door. You know what? Fuck it. Narlug's gonna close the door. And then
Okay.
cast fireball.
Nice.
Style points. Okay. Yeah, a new sculpture on yourself. So go ahead
Yep.
and throw it. So I know what save I need to make here. DC 14. Oh, good thing I don't have advantage. That was an 8 and a nat 20.
Oh shit.
Let's see, just make sure we don't have resistance. We do. What was your weird link? Were you trying to see the description?
Is there a
I don't know
door-
why.
is
Only
there-
the DM lets you do that.
Is there a door up here?
There is not a door, but I would argue that, like, you
Does
might
it go
get
that
some.
far up? You know, like it's got to go up the staircase. You know.
It does, but also like only a little bit, and it's not gonna like blow out the window though. It specifically says that it ignites objects, but it's not a bomb. It's more like a flamethrower going off in a sphere, if that makes
It's like
any
a burst
sense.
of gasoline going off. You know, like it's a
Yes.
quick.
So it is going to ignite a whole bunch of stuff,
Sick.
but it is not going to hurt Irina, if that's what you're worried about. Hi, Akabashi. Or is there something else you're wondering?
I was thinking if there's people standing up there that, maybe they get burned too.
Yeah. From what you could see from below, that floor did seem pretty empty before, but who knows? That was minutes ago. Either way, as your spell hits her, I think the disguise goes away, but similarly, she doesn't look nearly as singed as you would expect.
Uh
It appears she perhaps is resistant to fire.
huh. Ooh. Okay.
But you know, as this disguise melts away, there is nothing but like seething hatred in her eyes and a snarl on her face. Again, this like deep purple bruise-colored skin, long claws, fangs, and she's just generally hideous. She wasn't exactly a beauty as the granny disguise, but this is overtly a monster. And she snarls at you. Oh boy, I'm going to make you pay for this. Anything else on your turn, sir?
Narlug's just gonna grin at her and be like, "Bring it, bitch."
Okay.
And then yeah, that's his turn because I already used my free action to close the door, so I'm kind of stuck here.
I respect it. Irvin.
We'll move up and open the door.
Smoke and frog bits waft out. I will note the entire ground floor is on fire. It doesn't really clarify what exactly that mechanically means, so I'm just going to say occupying a space on this floor after like this round for it to properly catch, you're going to take a D2 of fire damage anywhere you're standing here by default.
Okay.
And then we will spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Get her.
Well, you still have a functional token, correct?
Yes. So we can drop it right here
Okay.
easily. And we go to our core. And we make an attack with it. Which is right here. It's not very
Afraid
good.
That's not
Even
good
with
enough.
bless.
Mm-hmm.
And then we dip.
Okay. Surprise sword. I'm out.
Whatever.
Anything else, sir?
It says
Plan.
whiz plus proficiency plus spell attack. That's weird. It doesn't say anything about bless.
It didn't roll with my bless, but even if it did, it wasn't going to be enough.
Is it
Even if it was a
actually
maximum
advantage or
blast.
no?
No,
Okay, then no.
I should not have
be enough.
advantage to my unless. No,
Unless. Oh,
I'm down with that.
Barrel
not this
Bocce.
time.
Barobachi is gonna go all in on the idea of the grapple. I was debating different ways I wanted to do it, and I don't like as many of the spirit totems I have. I don't like using them all, but we are gonna use the bear.
Okay.
The bear for the bear. Everybody
Bear.
who's a bro, they all gain 11 temporary hit points.
Oh.
I need that.
Let me post the bear for you.
Advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws while in the aura. Sick.
And I'm gonna go into the crib, 15 feet. We are going to,
Blocking the stairs. Smart.
yeah, we're gonna claw her, and then with the bite, we're gonna try and grapple her. If that, like,
Okay.
does that make sense? Like, I'm gonna do the bite and just not. I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
But is that like a strength check? You know what? I'm just gonna do the grapple. I think that's more fair. I'm just gonna straight grapple her, and I have advantage. I'm just gonna bear hug her.
Okay. I believe the way that it works is you make a special melee attack in place of any of your
normal
melee attacks.
Oh yeah, I guess I could do a claw and a bite then. That's fair. Okay, then let me claw her. It's normal. These are just normal claws. They're not special. 10.
Oh, 10. I'm afraid that does not hit.
And then I will try and grapple her. I know she's strong. Barabachi's strong.
Alright. So, let me double check how to fucking grapple. Hang on. Grapple.
I'm pretty sure they can make like a strength or athletics
It's
check
athletics
against
or
it.
acrobatics versus my 15.
Yes, I'm just remembering if you have to hit first.
That's Pathfinder.
Okay. So in that case, it's just contested athletics?
Yeah, or acrobatics,
is
whatever
going-
she wants.
We're definitely feeling athletics. Holy shit, she rolled so bad. Seems like you got the drop on her, and you are able to grab her. So you are now grappling.
Barabachi doing Barabachi hug, and that's my turn.
Yeah.
For like grapple though, is that if anyone like attacks, so is that like advantage too, or
She
is
just
it
can't move. Just can't move.
So, yeah.
I think restrained is the advantage one.
Grappler condition grappled. A grappled creature's speed becomes 0. It cannot benefit from any bonus to its speed. And that is it to start. But you can restrain her somehow as well, which you could look up if you'd like. And restraining would give everybody advantage on attack rolls, give her disadvantage on attack rolls, and disadvantage on dex
But I am
saves.
standing right next to her, so hopefully that's enough.
Yeah. No, I could just flank too. That's
Prevents her from moving entirely. She can
Yeah,
still attack and whatnot, but she's not getting away.
The spirit totem is not occupy space. It's just a spiritual bear.
A ghost. All right. I think Rictavio. Oh, what do you do, buddy? What do you do? I did say. Sorry, ignore that. Okay, sorry. Don't bother. Oh, I just didn't want it to take up space. That's not what I'm doing. You already know about that scroll, I think. Let's see. He's gonna move. No. Does the spiritual weapon actually block movement, or is it ghostly other than to its target? Do you
I
know?
believe
Does
you
it
can.
say?
It's. I believe you can occupy the same space.
Well, I don't want to occupy the same space. I just want to move through it because I want to go
Oh.
where the spirit totem is.
It doesn't really say. It says a floating weapon, so you could probably move through it if it's spectral.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume it's just not.
It does
gonna stab
force
him.
damage.
Most
But
broken
also, it's
damage in the
only
game.
a sword, and if it's yes, definitely the most broken damage in the game. And it's not if it's not actively trying to stop him, I think you can squeeze around a sword in a 5-foot
Yeah.
square.
Would not be an issue.
So he is just going to staberize her or attempt to. He's going to flick the cane and yeah. Oh my God, Rictavio. Why
Yes,
are you so
bless.
ass? He does, but it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Okay. He gets 1 attack. I guess he misses. Oh wait, no. He gets 2, right? Okay. And that will hit the 22. Yes. Rounded down. Fuck. Octavio. Bro. I'm gonna need you to bring more. That's the end of his turn, as he kind of curses as the sword, again, similarly kind of glances off. She seems resistant. Oh, no! She's not resistant. I'm sorry, I lied. Minus another 2. Alright. It is a silvered weapon. Then it is back to her turn. Oh, she's mad at you, Narlug.
Fair.
Yeah, I think she is going to. Oh, do I want to be an asshole? How much of an asshole? That's a good question.
Not kidnap him.
It's tempting.
Turns him
An
into a
orc
child.
getting kidnapped.
All right. You brought them here, risking this whole operation. I think perhaps I'll make you into one of my next pies. Please give me.
Is she casting a spell?
She is casting a spell.
I'm casting counterspell.
Counterspell.
She's countering my counterspell? E.
Mhm.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. At least I got rid
Is
of
that
it.
not fizzle an active cast?
That's
No.
not how it works.
It's
So
only actions
she
and
is.
bonus actions.
Yes. So it's a reaction. So she goes to cast, he counterspells, and she counterspells the
It's like
counterspell as
magic.
a reaction.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
assume
it's like
that you
the
could
same.
not actively counterspell until there was like some amount of magic gathered. Is how I imagine.
It's like
Mhm.
Magic
Like
the Gathering.
channeling
it
out
works.
what's there.
Yep.
That's fair.
Let's
That,
toss her
at least
another
I
one up for
wasted
level
it.
3s. She is attempting to polymorph you.
Oh shit!
So please make me a wisdom saving throw.
Damn, that's not good. Actually, that is pretty good. I'll take that. I'll take that. I won't take that.
Narlug, we are going to move you out of the way as he snarls in defiance, throws the counterspell. She just snaps her fingers, and your counterspell evaporates. And well, you're feeling a little bit green, and oh shit, the room is getting bigger. As you
It's
are
already green.
replaced by a toad.
No.
Not a frog.
No.
Do I still have my fangs? My tusks?
Yes, sure. We'll give you a toad with tusks. And, maybe a goatee too.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, Narlug, you are now a toad. And just kind of
Burp.
looking around
Burp.
in bewilderment.
I got warts on my back and shit.
She cannot move, and she used her actions not to break the grapple. So that's it for her.
Okay. And I'm gonna dash back in just so I
I'm
don't
just
have to
gonna
worry
mark
about
like
movement.
this. Also, can I make this controllable by you? Sorry.
What kind of saving throw do I make?
Wisdom.
Wisdom? Okay. And that's what, on every turn?
Correct. Oh, why was it 2 DM? Here, I don't know. And to save time to not fix it, here's the body text.
Okay.
Here we go. Represents character. No, we don't want that. But we do want. Here, we can do this. Gnarlo. I should have made you into a frog. Toadlug isn't nearly as good as Froglug.
Right, Froglug is pretty sweet.
Right?
So I think you should be able to control that toad now, but I'm not 100% sure.
I can't see it.
Oh!
Probably doesn't have vision.
Yeah, there we go. Now I can see it. No, I can't control it though.
Damn it.
That's okay.
That's okay. I'll move and just ping where you want to go. Unless
I
anybody
can't
does
do
anything
shit.
about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I can't do shit. No.
Alright, Ralmir, you run in. You are flanking.
Yep. I'm going to.
Yeah. That will very much hit. 10 sneak, okay. And it is magical. That is a very solid hit. And that gets a bit more of a reaction. Does push her to bloodied status. She is below half health now.
Oh. I mean, I guess
That
I
fireball was resisted, but it did some damage.
Mm-hmm.
can't remember where I was at because I don't know if I needed to dash in to get to this position.
If you hit Control C, it'll take you back.
30. 3, no, you don't need to dash. That's
Oh,
exactly
okay.
30.
Oh, perfect. All right, then I'm going to do bonus action though.
Okay.
And I'm going to give I'm going to do the help action
Oh, sure.
And-
Yeah.
for the mastermind though. I'm going to give it to Barobachi.
Okay. Makes sense to
Does that
me.
work for helping him maintain the grapple, or does it have to be an attack?
He can still attack while maintaining the grapple. It actually does not prevent the grappler from doing so. There's not even disadvantage on it anymore. Okay, so Barabachi, you have advantage on your next attack. Anything else in your roll, Mayor?
Nope, that's my turn.
Okay. We are now at Irina. I think she is just going to hold her position, still with the ready to attack. Toadlug.
Is she still concentrating?
Wisdom save, right? Wisdom save, right?
She is concentrating. Oh, good call. Thank you. I apologize. I should have rolled that. Need a con roll. Yes, she is.
Okay. I need a wisdom save, right?
Or wait, half the damage?
Yeah, so it would have been 10 anyway.
21,
It was 21,
so it's 10. Okay, yeah. So I rolled a 12. Sorry. Go ahead, Narlik.
I need a wisdom save, right?
Yes, you do. Although, is that at the end of the turn? Wisdom spell save, blah, blah, blah. Changes alignment and personality, blah, 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 blah. It actually doesn't say you can repeat the save.
Is it just as long as she's concentrating?
You just are.
Yeah. Until
think
she's
you
done
just are.
concentrating, I'm fucked. Okay.
Yeah.
Narlug's just gonna try and hop out the door.
Okay.
How far can I move?
A toad has a movement speed of, damn it, open character, 20 feet, and a 20-foot swim speed.
How do I ping?
Just hold left click.
I'm gonna go there.
Okay. Hop, 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 and home moving up here so you can see your front
Yeah,
body.
exactly. Yep. There we go.
I think here
You
you're
brought a toad with a
Oh yeah,
stomp?
here that way. I guess you can't see. You could. Do
And
you know
Narlug's-
what that toad is?
No.
Narlug's just gonna be like,
I guess it has tusks and a goatee.
And it has
Yeah,
11,
right.
and unfortunately it has 11 temporary hit points, so
It does have 11 temp HP, which means you're going to need to deal 12 damage.
I thought it's when the new creature's HP is gone. Does that count the temp HP?
Effects that are
yes, it does. It does.
Yeah, well, we're not doing that shit anyway. It's still technically Narlug turn.
That's Narlug's turn.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Earlier.
Is polymorph a concentration?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
She has to
Yes, it is.
All right, let's.
Which is good because there's some nasty concentration shit in her arsenal that she kind of can't do.
Swing with the Force Sword again, and we will use the inspiration here.
Roll it.
come on, thesis pay off.
No.
Wait, let me have my bless. Let me have my bless. Roll.
It matters not, I'm afraid.
Fuck. So you're worthless.
Yeah. To speed
What
it
a
up a bit,
good
you're looking
second
for
level spell.
17.
And then
You are kind of rolling like butts, to be fair.
I guess with our normal action, we'll.
It's plus 8 to hit.
Roll a 4.
fake
And that's what.
blame.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry that is not working out for you. DC 15 dexterity save. She fails that.
It is 16 actually. It's not showing there because of my.
Oh.
Or my amulet,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
You just
You're
gotta
correct.
roll. If you roll the thing, it'll do the math. It'll put 16 in there. It should. If you roll it on your attack sheet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, DC. Okay, so she's going to take 8 radiant damage. She's not vulnerable to it, but she does take full. Okay.
And we dip right back around.
And she does wince away from the light that causes, I think. Okay, Barabachi.
Barabachi will, let's see. I want to do a shot. Okay. Barabachi is going to slowly morph back into Akabachi while one hand is grappled to Granny, with
Okay.
one hand on his shield, and he'll say, "Great Huntress Granny, I've been waiting for this hunt." And he's going to use
GHG.
his bonus action to shift back. Let me do a little.
Okay.
And then he is going to, now the way this is worded, and if not, I'll put the shield away. But the way this is worded sounds like I could bite the shit out of this bitch. And it would still do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it with advantage, because my boy Ralmir is helping me out, pointing out the vital neck areas in which to bite into.
I'm for it. Are you upcasting at all or no?
It's a cantrip.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just read level. So you're 5, so 2d10. Ooh, that very much hits.
That's a big old roll.
Ooh, the 1.
Okay.
6, 7.
Oh, that
Acid
hurts.
damage.
But yeah, 7 acid. Just double checking. Okay, yeah,
It
full
seems
damage.
clean, cool. Then I am wearing this, and I'm wearing my shield, and that is all my actions, and she is still grappled.
Okay, damn. Efficiency.
Barabachi is
Tavio.
missing in the thing, but it's me. I'm 13.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
Let's add a turn.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, 13. Thank you. That's me.
All right. I think Rictavio is probably going to, let's see, make sure he has this. No, not Spirit Totem. What kind of dumb motherfucker has this kind of spell list and does not pack Dispel Magic?
And old ass bitch is confident. She still got concentration.
Yeah, well, yeah, she had to roll for that 7, but I'm sure she.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
If only I could cast fucking
And-
magic
Oh, yeah,
missile
so
right now.
19.
And for the 8 as well from the Sacred Flame. I don't know if you did that one too.
Good call. She loses it from the Sacred Flame. I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me.
Whoa.
Narlug, you are no longer Froglug, Toadlug. So I guess he doesn't need to dispel you.
Woo!
All right. I think he's
Narflip
just
is
gonna.
back, dude.
No. I think he's just gonna multi-attack.
Mm.
Ugh,
Mm.
buddy.
That natty one, dude.
Doesn't he have advantage from flanking?
He does, but it's still
Oh.
like the damage rolls are just
Yeah.
like depressing.
I don't know if we've ever seen him do damage.
No, dude, he
Besides,
fucked
like
up
one
fucking,
time.
yeah, that first fight with fucking Strahd, he fucked that
Yeah.
motherfucker up there.
But even then, it was kind of a shit roll. It was just good because Irvir doubled it. She is looking rough now. And I think as he stabs her, she hisses, and it kind of like rings in all of your ears, and you hear the noise upstairs stop. And she turns slowly to look around the room, and on her turn, kind of rasps out, "Fools, you had no idea what you were walking into, and no idea what I can do to you." And she begins to fade from view. Why is it still to GM? As she uses a special ability that night hags possess, etherealness. As she begins to fade into the ethereal plane, just the smile remains. "See you in your dreams, darling." And she fades out of view entirely.
So she's still there, just out of view? Or on another
She's
plane?
on the ethereal plane.
Oh, shit.
And Brictavia just goes, "That's not good." And starts glancing around, and you can see his glasses light up. I don't know.
Anime style, just...
Like, literally, like, as the detect magic goes. Shit. And yeah, you can see he's, like, attempting to locate her. Maybe he has a plan. You hear footsteps beginning to come down the stairs as the other two occupants and the other 2 members of this coven begin to come for you. But I'm afraid there is not time for 2 more night hags to deal with today.
Hell yeah.
So I think we'll have to pick up there next time.
That's fair. That's fair. I got cheeks here that I gotta tend to.
But we will leave with one last. I will lead with one last thing from Rictavio, as he says, "If we can't pin her down, she'll be able to haunt us every time we sleep until we're able to slay her. And I've heard of plenty people killed that way. Best find her fast. And we'll pick up there next time."
Hell yeah.
What a fun session.
I thought so. You got to be a frog. You got to
Right.
interrogate a corpse.
Right?
You got to have a cold as fuck close the door and fireball yourself moment. Narlug was popping off today.
This is
Is the
Narlug's day,
material
dude.
plane clear from the ethereal plane?
Yes. Just making 1 or 2 notes.
So
But you're gone next week, right?
I am here next week, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be here next week.
Yeah, I'll be good for next week.
But the weeks after that, the immediate
that's what
following
I was
week
gonna
is a
say.
hard maybe,
Yeah.
and then the week after that I am out of town.
Okay. That's why I knew it was coming up.
Epic hack sesh and then take a little break, dude. That sounds about right.
I feel like it'll likely be big combat, and then we'll kind of have to call it
So-
there. Mike, where's this fucking schedule linked? Would it be in where's this damn arc somewhere?
So,
Oh, shut up.
I like to play it straight. So it was probably, what, 30 seconds before we started the fight?
I
Give or
figured we
take,
had
yeah.
about 5 rounds of bless.
Yeah.
I
From
only
initiative.
counted 3 rounds in that, as far as what
Correct.
I was
So you've
counting.
got 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although with this, he's gonna drop less anyway.
Eventually he's going to have something else. Okay. For sure.
I was planning on Spirit Guardiansing them through the roof.
Oh, you have to drop less to do the fucking weapon, right?
No, the weapon
No.
doesn't.
It's actually
Oh.
not concentration, which is
Awesome.
a little strange to
They
me.
changed it in
It is.
2024. It sucks.
Oh, is it
Probably
concentration now?
It's concentration now, yeah. It's trash.
Probably from people combining that with Spirit Guardians all the time.
Yep. Like, combining your spirit weapon with your cleric is like a go-to. It's a classic.
Oh, I
cleric
see
move.
your line of thinking, Arvir. You're hoping the Spirit Guardians will get her anyway because magic interacts with the ethereal plane.
So I was hoping, I didn't think it would work like that because I didn't know that. I was thinking I would, at least the people that are coming down are going to get blasted by Spirit Guardians on the way down because it's going to go
I
through the
see.
roof or the
Yes.
ceiling. That's why I asked about the height of the ceiling earlier. Since
Gotcha.
it exudes 15 feet from me, it reaches to the 3rd floor.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay. Clever,
I was
clever, clever.
also hoping, that's why I asked if the material plane was clear, that if I had Spirit Guardians active and she had to shift into the material plane to interact, that she would, oops, I
That you would get
accidentally
hit.
stepped in Spirit Guardians,
Oops, all spirit
Yep.
guardians.
Smart, smart, smart.
but I didn't think, if I know that magic will interact with the ethereal plane like that, then I just full send this regardless.
I think you would have an idea that would be the case.
Or if I detect magic, if I cast detect magic to see somebody, can I cast hold person on them? Or does starting to cast hold person drop my detect magic concentration so it like fizzles out and I don't have a target?
Fuck Granny, dude.
I wasn't expecting that joke to go over so well. Okay, so if you have detect magic, you want to cast hold person on the target of that detect magic. I will say, I think
think it
maybe
fizzles
that
'cause
would
loses
work.
the
Is it detect magic
I guess if
concentration?
it like lingers a little bit.
Yeah, I'll give you that. However, I will save you the spell slots and let you know
Yeah.
she's not a person.
Oh, it does say humanoid.
Humanoid.
I forget that it actually does specify target type.
Actually, you know what? Before I say that to you, let me double check. I think she's an abomination or an aberration.
And
That
it,
does
Unless she's a
save me the
fiend.
upcast on hold person for the double hags. So thank
Yeah.
God
yeah,
for
it
that
does,
shit.
it does say
You're welcome.
choose a humanoid you can see. So if like you can't
Mhm.
see the humanoid,
That's why I was saying detect magic.
yeah, but a detect magic's not
You'd be
gonna
able to
show
detect
you a
her
human.
aura,
Right, it's not
not
gonna
the
show you a
actual
human.
person. I see his argument there. Yeah. Same thing. You can't hold person a illusion
Right?
or
I
a
can smell
invisible
it, but I
target.
can't see it.
Back
Yeah.
to Spirit Guardians. The answer to all of life's problems.
Yes.
All right, well, sorry guys, I got to bust out.
Peace.
All right, no problem. Thanks
See
for
you guys
playing.
next week. Hell yeah, it was a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
You know what? It's